I went back to Nigeria to visit my family after almost 2 years since I left. And when I got back, my dad didn't change much. My mom also didn't change much. And my immediate sister, her face still looks the same, her height also. But you see these two of my siblings, they were literally growing so tall that they wanted to drag heights with me. But I wouldn't let them. No way I would let them grow taller than me. But I had so much fun back in Nigeria with my family. And in this vlog, I'm gonna be sharing some of the memories and experiences. So I landed in Nigeria. When I got out of the plane, I didn't need anybody to tell me to remove my jacket. There was so much heat. It was so hot. From the weather to the people to the environment, it was very obvious I was back in Nigeria. A friend came to pick me from the airport, and I remember when we were driving back, and then there was somebody who was driving carelessly in front of him, and he had to bring his head out and be like, "Shady man, come off a road." And all of those experiences just kind of reminded me like, Dillion, you are back here. You know how it is here, right? You're back. My journey back to my family wasn't a very direct one, so I had to travel through a couple of cities until I got to a specific city where my mom came to pick me. And I think just seeing her, I felt so emotional.
How does it feel like to see your son again? In fact,
I remember hugging her for like 3-4 minutes. We were just there. She was like, "Na your face videos." I mean, I was like, "Na your face videos." She welcomed me with pure water too. Oh my God, the best kind of water ever, the purest water ever. Anyways, this was just a starting point to the different delicacies I'm going to be eating before I leave that place. So my mom drove me to her shop, and over there I met 2 of my siblings. My brother wasn't super surprised because he had already had rumors that I'll be coming. But my sister, when she came from school and she saw me at the shop, she was so surprised. And oh my God, it was so nice to see them. We've had video calls, but seeing them in person and also realizing how much they have grown. Like, how are you this tall? But seeing my siblings made me almost tear up, and my last sibling was supposed to be coming the following day. So from my mom's shop, we got home, I saw my dad. I hugged that man. Oh my God, I've missed that man. That very, 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 very handsome man. The following day, my sister came back from university. She got to see me. There was a whole thing that happened where she came home. She was excited to see me at home, but when she got into the house, so happily, I and my other siblings had gone somewhere on a stroll. So she came back and she wasn't so excited that we betrayed her, kind of. So she kept calling like, "Where are you guys? When are you coming?" I missed my family so much. In fact, my mom didn't even want to leave my side. I remember one morning she woke us up and we were doing photo shoot in the morning. My face wasn't even clear. My siblings, their faces weren't clear, but we had this whole photo shoot. One of my fears when going home was my hair. Like, my hair is super, super long, and my parents haven't been a big fan of it. Not just my parents, even the environment where I come from in Nigeria. In the last 1 year plus, it has been a whole back and forth with my parents. My dad wanted me to cut the hair. My mom wanted me to cut the hair to look more handsome, and me saying this is what I want. And you can imagine, even when I braided the hair the first time last year, it was a whole other episode. So when I was going back, I was a bit scared that my hair was going to be the only topic. I gotta say, when I went back home, my parents were receptive of the hair, and that made my stay more comfortable. There were tiny remarks and a shade here and there. My mom would say, "You look better on low cut. Look at what you look like." My dad would be like, "It's like you're having a wig on your hair." So there were all these comments, but they were very receptive, and I really appreciated that about them. I'm going to be honest, I understand where their fears and worries and concerns are coming from regarding my hair, but I have assured them so many times that the environment there is different from the environment here, so they shouldn't worry so much about my hair. I mean, we even took great pictures. We did a whole photo shoot at home with my dad, with my mom, with my siblings, and my hair was there, and my sister also got to play with the hair. I beg, do it big so that I can easily lose it. I beg, don't kill me. And you know the funny part? My mom also started playing with my hair.
You see your brother.
She's now playing with the hair.
I
And I'm going to be very honest, that meant a lot to me. That moment where she was playing with the hair, where we could laugh about the hair, where we could joke about the hair, it meant so much to me. And while I understand that they haven't 100% accepted my hair, I'm really glad to see how much progress I've made with them, that they have come to a point where they can now respect some of my decisions around my hair. Then food, I ate good Nigerian food. What? I almost cried. And my mom kept ensuring that I ate. She was like, before you go back, you must be fat. I will make sure of that. Well, maybe I was fat when I came back, but it's been 3 weeks since I was back in Netherlands and I'm already back to default. Sometimes I'll have breakfast as early as 8 or 9, and by 11:30 my mom is like, are you still hungry? Should I get you something? And I'm just like, so life can actually be this good, man. So life could be this good. While I was home, it was also my sister's birthday. People should sing happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you, Demaris. Happy birthday to you. I even brought this confetti popper for her birthday, and instead of reading the manual or researching how to use this thing, I kept trying it on my own until I made such a huge embarrassment where instead of popping it on her, I popped it the other way round. Anyways, you're probably disappointed in me, but I want you to know that I was also disappointed in myself. We took good pictures of her, pictures that I would keep going over whenever I miss her. How old are you now?
No.
While spending time with my parents, I also made sure I spent a lot of time with my siblings. We had discussions, we created memories, told stories, we watched movies sometimes on my phone. My brother, who also got to learn how to ride a bike while I was away, he would drive me around whenever I want to get somewhere. He was like my personal bike man. And we also took pictures. I brought my camera back to Nigeria especially for that. We also walked together from church sometimes, and all of that was just beautiful for us to discuss and just have fun. And we even had a whole choreography. I made sure we did that. First, we had this rehearsal where we are home and we tried the moves, and what we did was I bring one move, my sister brings one move, my brother, my sister, and we go around. I think we brought like 3 moves each or so, and so we had the whole rehearsal at home. And when everything was ready, we went to one location that was free, and when we went there, we did a whole rehearsal. It was fun. It wasn't perfect, but that was the beauty of it. Just us having fun as siblings. Also, when I got home, I brought gifts for my family, but as if that wasn't enough, my siblings didn't even want me to go back with my clothes. In fact, they even had the whole fight on who should take what.
You see, it's not unequal.
Wait.
I also went to see my auntie and her son, my cousin, in another city. And oh my God, when we're planning this trip, fuel is so expensive. We got there and it was super nice to finally get to see them, eat some of her food also. And I also have to say, it probably wasn't a very wise decision going back home with my favorite white sneakers, considering the sand that was there. The sneakers, it suffered a lot. I'm really sorry. And while I was home, I got to see some of my friends who were present at the time. And while I was home, it was also my parents' anniversary, and we had dinner together, eating very good chicken and Hollandia. We also prayed together as a family, and I think it was also a moment for me to reflect on how far they have come, the beautiful children that they have, and I pray God continually keeps them and keeps all of us together for a very long time. Visiting home brought a lot of nostalgia memories. It also reminded me of my roots, where I come from, and it also helped me see how some of the things I used to be used to, I no longer am used to, or let me not say I'm no longer am used to, but now I am more accustomed to something else, which is the environment where I currently reside. For example, when the weather gets super hot and I'm all sweaty and I'm like, what is all this sweat? How are you guys surviving? And my brother just looks at me like, you used to live here before. what's this? And also helped me to understand better how expensive things have become back home. I mean, I've had calls with my parents, with my family, with my friends. I see news on Twitter, social media about how things have gotten expensive. And to an extent, I feel like I understand it. But to be there in person, witnessing these things, I think that was a whole new eye-opening moment. I remember getting sugar for my dad, 15 naira sugar. And when I got it and I gave it to him for him to put in his gari, we both looked at ourselves and we just smiled or we laughed. And he was like, now the situation where they go through with this, we had to tell you for fun. I wonder how some families are actually surviving. Also going to my local church back home. A part of me really missed that whole setting of high praise and high dancing and shaking body together. Since I came to the Netherlands, I haven't been to such churches, but the church I attend currently, we have worship moments, but it's not very like high praise. But yeah, going back home and experiencing all of that was also good.
God's goodness and mercy shall follow you all the days of your life, and you shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever and ever. Amen.
And then my hair experience. Now, my parents were super receptive of my hair, but the environment wasn't very receptive. And something interesting happened one Sunday while I was in church. Was it Wednesday service? It was a Sunday service. The pastor called me out. That is a whole different story, which I'm not going to talk about. Pastor even thought that was my first Sunday. He's a new pastor, so we haven't seen before. What I'm even trying to talk about here is how I overheard later on that people were murmuring in the church about my hair. Now, the woman picking me that, see the hair we carry for hair. This is the kind of hair you should be keeping. Coming out, being in the center of the church and everybody now seeing me, even those who knew and did not know me. What was so interesting? When I wanted to greet anybody, once I greet them, good morning, ma, good morning, sir. This is how they respond to me. The first look up, the hair, then they look at my face, and they respond to my greeting. My parents didn't give me troubles with my hair, but the environment and the church, that was crazy. It kind of shows you how cultures are different. Where I come from, there's this whole cultural notion around the kind of hair that you keep, stereotyping and stuff like that. But over here, when I tell them of these experiences or stories, they can't relate. And you know what they say, all good things comes to an end. And my sister had already returned back to school, so it was just I and my dad and mom and my two other siblings.
Missing you, Didi.
Amen.
You are blessed.
Amen. So when I was leaving, there was also this emotional moment where my sister was almost tearing up. I almost teared up a bit because in that moment, it was also kind of like, I'm going far away again and there's going to be this distance again. But while leaving, apart from some of my friends I got to see at home, I also got to see some of my other friends in other cities.
Dominion. Say cheese to the camera.
Some of them I got to see for the first time. Some friendships I had made over social media for the last 3 years. I got to finally see these people in person. I also went to another city to see some of my other friends, some of my friends which I haven't seen since we left university in 2020. So it was nice to see some of those friends. Now it was time to finally leave. There was a bit of stress and sweat in trying to do all the whole airport operations, customs and stuff like that until the plane finally took off.
Start doing tour. Rich kid.
But I think the plane picking off was that reminder like, okay, I'm leaving again. We continue with the video calls and voice calls, but I should do this more often. It was so beautiful. So yeah, I had a lot of fun time and discussions with my family, with my parents. They were even beginning to bring the conversation of marriage. They were asking me when I was going to get married. And I gave them the typical when the Lord chooses. fun discussions with my parents, with my siblings. I got to also share a bit about some of the things I have learned in my Christian journey with them. I'm also not happy that it took me 2 years to finally go home, and there was a lot of circumstances around that. My plans moving forward is to go home more often. I think going home and seeing my two siblings who had grown so much, it made me feel like, yes, I'm calling, yes, we're having all these chats and stuff, but I would love to be more physically present. And it's not always possible like that with the way life is and certain situations. I just want to be more present. Yeah, that's pretty much a summary of my whole fun time.
No cry, yo.
Manny, leave
If
there
your
for the
mommy
interview.
call, I
Jeremy, somebody's
go
calling
tell
you.
her.
Private number.
Mama.
No for la bag.
You don't think everything finished, Abby? I brought my teeth. My teeth, cross my teeth.